What's up, everybody? Welcome to another week, week two of live, right? I need to start scheduling these things ahead of time so that everybody's aware of what I'm doing. So I'm gonna give it some time for some people to come in, and then I'll get started. Today I'm gonna be going over some pricing stuff. We're gonna be talking about pricing techniques, how to price your units, where to look if you're curious if a market does good, et cetera, and then how to figure out your daily average rate and all of that, right? As always, if you have questions, drop them below, and I will answer them as best as I can as soon as I'm done with what I have set up for you guys. So bear with me because I have been sick. I'm barely getting over a flu. It wasn't COVID, thank God. But you can kind of tell, like, I'm a little under the weather still. Well, it's going away. But anyway, hang tight. We'll wait for some more people to come in, and then we'll get going. And also, I kind of figured out why I couldn't see names from Facebook. If you're on Facebook, you need to give StreamYard permission to see your name. Please do so. That way I know who's commenting on here. Otherwise, all I see is Facebook user, and I don't know who asked the question, and it's kind of awkward. So just give permission. The link is here. It says StreamYard.com/Facebook, and I think you just tell them, yes, you can see my name. And that way I know who you are. Otherwise, I'm not going to know who you are. Cool? With that being said, give it another minute or two, and we will get going. I'm going to have one of those really cool countdown things. Watch. I think we have one right now, actually. Let me look at it. Yeah, I have a 30-second countdown. Can you guys see that? Which is kind of cool, but I'm going to do one to start off, right? Like a little, I don't know, 2 minutes or something to give people a chance to come in and get going. Because I know it's also early. I know it's near the holidays, but yeah. Again, if you're following me in the Facebook group and you ask a comment, I won't know who you are unless you give permission for me to see your name. If you're on YouTube, cool. Thanks for joining. But today we're talking about pricing, okay? I kind of got a little bit of info for you guys. So we can go over. I'm gonna go over pricing strategies, dynamic pricing, what I use, how to find out your numbers, et cetera, et cetera. And again, we'll go live at about the 3-4 minute mark. Cool. Just giving everybody a chance to come in. What's up, guys? I don't know who said hey, Rafa, but hey, welcome. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Again, if you're on Facebook, I don't know who you are. It doesn't tell me. Give StreamYard permission to see your name, please. Unless they're asking for all kinds of private information. Tell them no. Let's get the music. This is our podcast intro. I love this song. Nice lo-fi beat, I think. I don't know. All right, I'm pulling up my notes here, and we will get going. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Hey, and you know what? While I have you guys here, a couple of you guys, you know, if you guys have anything specific that it just makes my life easier to create content for you all, if you tell me what you want me to talk about. The pricing one came from a couple users last week who were asking a lot of questions about it. This obviously gets saved on YouTube, so you guys can watch it later if you want. But this is more for me to interact with you guys because I've been getting a ton of questions about what to do here, what to do there. And if you come and ask me live, you get all the answers for free rather than having to book a time with me or ask sometime and me answer in the future when I'm free and available, right? So with that being said, about another 30 seconds and I'll get started. Automation, yeah, for sure. I'll do something about automation. That's a good one. You know what? I'm gonna do? I'm gonna pull up Facebook on my iPad down here so I see who's asking the questions because I still can't see the names up here. It's kind of weird. Oh, Josh, what's up, man? That was you. Cool. RB, hey. Cool. All right. All right, so we're gonna get started. So today I'm going to be talking about pricing strategies. Okay, it's gonna be simple, quick. 10-15 minutes of content, and then depending on what you guys ask, I'll stay on. Otherwise, we'll get off and we'll move on with our lives until next week. So thank you for being here. Again, I do these for you guys and to kind of help out. I like giving information where I can. I like people getting started, and I want you guys to implement this in your business, right? The biggest thing about this is just take it and apply it in what you're doing. And since I'm a short-term rental person, this is all related towards short-term rentals, right? Airbnb, the Facebook group, um, the Big Break Facebook group, and then this is going to go on our YouTube channel, the Big Break Show. If you're following us on YouTube, please hit that like, follow us, whatever you want, or don't. It's up to you. But if you subscribe, you know when I go live. So my voice is a little stuffy. I'm still kind of sick, but other than that, let's get started. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about today was using how to price your listing. If you're already an operator, you're already live, and you're using no type of dynamic pricing, right? What's dynamic pricing? Dynamic pricing is when you use a type of pricing strategy where every single night is priced differently. The airlines use it; they're experts at it. Hotels use it; they're experts at it. And you can book on a Monday for $120 and book on Tuesday for $160 and book on a Saturday for $230. But the entire month is averaged at a specific rate that you want your listing to be at, right? That's what dynamic pricing is. Now, I use a tool called Price Labs. There's several tools out there. There's Price Labs, there's Wheelhouse, there's Beyond Pricing. Those are the major ones. I don't know the other ones off the top of my head. I don't have them written down. But I use Price Labs specifically. Why? Well, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? And I've been using Price Labs since the beginning that I started my business, so 4.5 years ago. And I love them. They work great. They did great during COVID pricing strategies, and I'm using them now, and I love them still. So I'm going to give you a couple tips here. I'm not going to go into like exact detail with numbers and stuff like that, but it will be helpful enough for you to take it and implement it if you need it, right? There's a lot of new hosts out there who are still using Airbnb's dynamic pricing tool. Tip number 1, do not use Airbnb's dynamic pricing tool, okay? Airbnb is doing it to be helpful, but they're also Airbnb. They're doing, if your listing is on Airbnb, assuming, right? They're using this for the host to be able to generate the most bookings as possible, to bring in guests as fast as possible. They're not using this to help the host generate as much revenue as possible, right? So one of the things you will notice if you're on dynamic pricing with Airbnb, it's going to ask you, like, let's say your market rate is about $150 or something. They're going to tell you to price your place at around $86, $90, right? Which sucks because you're going to lose money. You don't want to do that. So again, tip number 1, stay away from Airbnb's dynamic pricing, okay? Use a software tool like Price Labs, Beyond Pricing, Wheelhouse, whatever you want, whatever. Try them all out. Use one a week. They'll give you a free month starter. As a matter of fact, I think I have a referral for Price Labs where you get like $10 off. If you want it, let me know. I'll send you the link. But that's what I want you guys to make sure if you're, again, already operating or if you're thinking of starting, use a dynamic pricing software, right? Again, you don't want to go with something like Airbnb, and you certainly, number 2, do not want to have your your daily rate priced at the exact same thing every single day, right? You don't want Monday to cost the same as a Saturday. You're losing money, right? Because your Monday might go unbooked, and now your Saturday gets booked at a really low rate. If your base price meaning your average daily rate of what you're trying to price your location at is $150, then Monday should be something around $130, whatever the algorithm decides it is, and Saturday should be something like $200, $220, $230, whatever, right? Okay. So number 2, the second tip I'm going to give you guys here is finding your average daily rate. Okay, you as an operator or as a hospitality person, if you're running an Airbnb or just VRBO or wherever you're doing this, a short-term rental outside of different platform direct bookings, you need to know what your average daily rate is going to be, right? What are you going to charge people on average in order for you to, number 1, break even, and number 2, make profit? Okay. And if you don't know your numbers, you're never going to know what to price your unit at. And how do you find out what your break-even number is? And how do you find out what your number is with profit, right? Well, it's very, very simple. And I'm going to tell you guys right now how. Number 1, if you're trying to find out what your break-even number is for any specific unit, whether you own the property, whether you are arbitraging a deal, whether you're co-hosting, whatever the case may be, you need to know what number you need to charge per night just to break even so that you don't lose money all month, right? Because the worst thing is to lose money. At least we can break even in this business very simply. So when you take all your expenses, you're going to take your rent. Let's talk about an arbitrage deal, right? And if you're an owner, then just take the rent as your mortgage. Here we go. The rent, right? You're going to take the rent, you're going to take all your utilities, all your operating expenses, your costs, internet, water, sewage bill, that's part of your utilities. And then you're going to add your cost of operations, which is your resupply stuff, right? How much do you put aside for resupply? Coffee, tea, do you provide that stuff? For me, it's about $40 a unit per month. That's how much I spend. That's an average for me. But then, I'm at scale, so I buy in bulk. For some people, it's $25 a month because they're not really providing much. For some people, it's $150 because they're providing a ridiculous amount of things, right? They're just providing a much different service. But you're going to take all those expenses, and then you're going to add them all together. Whatever it is that costs to operate the unit, whether you have a storage cost, whether you have food set aside for your guests, that you provide a cost for meals or something, whatever it is, add it all up together, and then you're going to divide it per the days that you want to stay booked, right? Not by 30. You're not going to divide by 30 days of the month. So for example, in this simple case, I'm gonna pull up my calculator, guys. In this very, very simple example, we're going to say that my cost to operate is $3,000 for the month, okay? That already included rent, that already included utilities, that already included all my resupply. This does not include cleaning fees. Make that very clear. This does not include cleaning fees, nor the cost of cleaning, okay? Nor my cost to get my linens washed, okay? It doesn't include any of that. That's a pass-through expense. We'll get to that after this. That's tip number 3. So let's say for this example, I want to know, hey, what do I need to do to not lose money for my apartment? Well, my apartment costs $3,000 a month to operate, right? Well, I'm not going to rent the entire apartment 30 days, 100% occupied every single month. It's just not going to happen, right? Unless you're really low priced, right? Unless you're very, very low priced, then you might rent it out at 100%. But we always do a specific percentage of occupancy, which means 65%, 75%, 80%, whatever the case you're comfortable with in order to break even, right? In this case, let's go with, let's just say 27 days. We want to go vacant 3 days because we know that on average we're vacant 3 days, maybe a random Monday or a random Tuesday, or whatever the case is, right? So we're going to take this $3,000 and we're going to divide it by 28. That gives you $107.14. In order for me to break even, I'll just average it out to $107 a night. In order for me to break even on this one apartment, I need to do $107 minimum per night on a whatever 1-bedroom apartment. Let's just, for this example, it was a 1-bedroom apartment, okay? Now, I want to say that again. It's $107 minimum, not on average, minimum, okay? That just means that I won't rent my apartment lower than $107 per night, okay? I just won't do it. Now, how do I, this is to break even, right? To not make any money. Now, this is on, if you're using a tool like Price Labs, when it asks you what the minimum rate for that apartment is, that's the number you're going to put on there. That means that Price Labs is now trained to never price your unit lower than that number. For me, average is about $103. Whether my break-even number is 80, 60, 70, 95, it doesn't matter. I don't go under $103 because the type of customer that you get at a specific price range varies based on the number, right? So anyway, before we get ahead of ourselves here, going back to this $107, that's going to be the lowest rate possible for your unit on a nightly base that it won't rent any lower than, right? Now, if you want to figure out, hey, maybe I want to do $1,000 in profit every month for this unit, it's very simple. You go back to your $3,000 and now we add, for me, on average, I want to make $1,500 per apartment, 1 bedroom, right? I'm going to add $1,500 to that $3,000. Now we're looking at $4,500. Again, I'm not thinking I'm going to lease this place or rent lease. I'm not going to rent this place out at 100%, which means 30 days. I'm going to do it at a percentage of 90-something% occupancy, right? So we're going 3 days vacant. We're going to do 4,500 divided by 27. And now I'm at $166. That means that is my average daily rate to make a $1,500 profit per month, okay? That means that on average, whether I sell Monday at $104 and I sell Saturday at $310, I don't care. At the end of the month, with 27 days booked, 3 days vacant, I'm going to rent this place at $166.66 per night, right? So $167, let's round up. That ensures that you're going to make a profit. And then from there, that's your starting number. Now you know what you're going to start at, right? Now you're going to be able to measure out whatever the market is going to demand. Let's say now you know that my break-even number is 107, my profit number is 166. Now we can start doing our research and seeing, hey, can this market really bring in $167 per night so that I can make my $1,500 profit? Then you start doing your research. Okay. And these 167, to go back to price labs, for those of you who are going to try it out or want to use it, this is your base rate. This is the number you're going to put on the base rate of price labs, right? Aside from all your other pricing rules, everything else, this is going to be the number. Okay. Now, let's see, what am I? Okay. Going into, once you figured out this number, now you're going to figure out exactly what, if the market can demand this thing, is this rate per night. You're going to do tip number 3, run comps on Airbnb. Okay, the comps on Airbnb that you're going to run, you're going to run locations similar to your property. How do you do that? Okay, very simple. You're going to go on a website like Airbnb, and you're going to pull a specific area on the map, okay, of where you want to operate. Guys, pay close attention to this, because this is going to give you a free and easy way to run comps. Okay, you're going to pull up an area. Let's say your house falls on 5th and 4th, right on the corner, right? You're going to pull up a map on Airbnb in that area. You can do so on Airbnb. You're going to pull up all the locations that are similar to your place that you're thinking of putting up, right? If you're doing a 1-bedroom apartment, make sure you pull the comps for a 1-bedroom apartment. You're not going to be pulling comps on a 3-bedroom or a 2-bedroom. It doesn't make sense. The second thing you're going to look at is you're going to pull only the listings that look similar to the type of design that you want. This one is important. If you're pulling a 1-bedroom apartment they spent, I don't know, $5,000 on furnishing, and it's just very minimal, and you see the rates are really low, that's probably not a good comp. But if you're going to spend $15,000, $20,000, maybe $8,000, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You need to pull the design similar on those comps to what you want to do. Okay. Now, once you do that, then you can pull all those comps in that area. You're going to start pulling up specific properties like, okay, mine's going to be similar to this 1-bedroom, similar to this 1-bedroom. It's very nicely designed. I want it to be like that. It's also similar to the square footage. It's also in the vicinity of where I want to open mine. Now you're going to start checking their pricing. You're going to check their occupancy on their calendar. Now you can do it at any time you want, but I typically do it 10 days out. So I check from today, 10 days out, to see what are they priced at. Are they occupied? Are they booked? Or are they vacant? If they're vacant, why are they vacant? Let's look at it, right? And I just put it down like on a spreadsheet. And I'll have a spreadsheet eventually, guys. So if you're subscribed to me, drop it in the comments below, and I'll send you the spreadsheet. Give me about maybe a week and a half, and I'll put it out for you guys, so you guys can use. But it's going to be very simple. It's just going to keep track of your comps, what your average daily rate is. I'm going to have all these formulas in there for you. And I'll give it to you guys for free, so you guys can have it. But only if you're subscribed and you're dropping it in the comments. Otherwise, I don't know how to get it to you. But other than that, okay, so now you're going to pull those locations in your area, and you're going to see the vacancy in 10 days. You're going to do 3 weeks out, and then you're going to do a month to 2 months out, okay? And you're going to write down every single day rate on those days that you look to see what the price is at. Now, if you see that the price from today, 10 days, and I'm sorry, I forgot to say, I also checked today, like the day of. But if you see that the price from today, 10 days out, 3 weeks out, and then a month out, and then 2 months out is the exact same price every single time, this person is probably not using dynamic pricing or price labs, but they're probably not using price labs, and odds are they're not a good comp, right? Although the place looks beautiful, at least you know that you can make that money depending on their vacancy. Let's say they're booked from today to 30 days out, and then in 30 days their price is $110, and you're like, $110? Well, my break-even number is 107. This isn't maybe it's not a good area, or it's not a good comp, or maybe it's just a bad operator that doesn't know what they're doing, right? They don't have the experience to be able to price their place accordingly. But that's why you're pulling multiple comps. Now you're going to pull at least 5 comps. This is the easiest way to do it. You're going to pull 5 comps. You're going to check the other 4 locations and check the day of today, check 10 days out, 3 weeks out, a month out, and see how they're pricing and see what their occupancy is at, right? And pretend to be someone you're going to book. Pretend you're going to book before you actually hit book. Go through the motions and see what they have, right? Very experienced operators sometimes implement fees for extra guests, pets into their daily rate. Others don't, right? Make sure you check out on the listing as well. If you're the type of person that's going to want to price the location out to make more upcharge sales, like pet fees, guest fees, smoking fees, car fees, whatever fee you have, whatever extra service you're going to provide, whatever amenity you're going to give, then make sure that you look in those listings for those type of comps, right? I know a lot of good operators who don't charge fees. They just add it to the rate, and the rate's way higher than other rates in the area, right? So when you pull those comps, that's all the data you're going to look at, right? And make sure you see their occupancy. If they're vacant for the next 45 days, starting from today to 45 days, and they've been operating for 3 years, it could be that maybe it's just a slow season, a slow month, right? Or they don't know how to get over the slow season hump, so to speak, right? By tweaking their listing and doing pricing strategies, things like that, right? But once you have all that, you're going to be able to, you'll get an idea of, you pull the 5 comps, and you see, well, this guy's charging about 147, this guy's charging around 160. Now check the heavy season, right? This is what tip are we on? 4 or 5? I don't know. But you're going to check the heavy seasons in your market. For example, in my market, if I'm running a comp, I'm running July, right? I'm going to check July, because in July, I know that it's a really heavy month. So if I go to book today in July and they're charging me 240 per night, 250 per night, but today they're vacant and they've been operating for 3-4 years, that's probably a good person that I want to compare to. They probably know what they're doing, because they're charging top dollar for far out pricing in the future on a very heavy month, right? So hopefully that makes sense. If not, let me know below. Again, I can clear it up in the future, but let's keep going here. Now, how to implement it into a pricing software. How do you implement all this? I kind of went over it already. You use something like PriceLab's Wheelhouse. You put these rates, and then you let it do the work. Now, something that I want to make clear, though, when you're using these pricing softwares, is they're not the one-stop shop end all for all pricing, right? They give you a very good base of how you should chart, or how you should rate your location, but you need to be on top of it. For me specifically, I'll tell you guys what I do every Monday at 9 a.m. It's on my calendar. I sit down and I go through all my units, and I just check to see how my prices are. I check my vacancy for the next 7 days. I check how I'm doing for the next month, and I price accordingly. I can tweak my base rate up $1, lower it $1, right? PriceLabs and Wheelhouse, they give you an idea, even if you don't figure this number out, what we just went over, they'll give you an idea of what they think you should be listing your place at. So if they say, hey, we think that this one bedroom based on the other one bedrooms in the area should be $96. You can be like, whoa, why $96? Maybe you're just in a new market, right? And there's not very many people there. Or it might say, hey, I've had it where it's gone on both spectrums. It's told me that my one bedrooms are going to be like $92. And I'm like, dude, what? No, right? But then I the same building, I put up another one a week later, and it's saying I'm going to make like 195. And I'm like, no, right? Because I know what these units are going to demand in my market. My sweet spot's about 155, 165, right? Okay, so that was the pricing strategy for getting started, right? When you guys are starting to try to figure this out and learn this, I'm gonna go quickly into, if you're already operating, how to have specific strategies for specific markets. What I do, for example, I have holiday pricing, where on PriceLabs, I set a rule for holiday pricing. Holiday pricing is big for me because I make a lot of money on the holidays, almost as much as I do in July, or in June, or in the summer months. But I have a summer pricing strategy, right? I have a pricing strategy for the slow season, which is coming up January and February, right? My pricing strategy for all of you guys out there who are like, okay, I already know all this, you're wasting my time, give me something good. All right, hopefully this is good. I literally will take it and I go into day-by-day minimum requirements, and I boost up day-by-day percentages, and I set a rule for specific properties across the board in specific locations. Like my 2 bedrooms are different than my studios. My 3 bedrooms are definitely different than everything. But that's what I do. So I come in, and let's say the 24th lands on Thursday. Well, I don't want people checking out on the 25th because it's Christmas Day. And I'm not going to make my cleaners go clean a unit on Christmas. They might not even want to do it. And if they don't want to do it, now I have an open unit on Christmas Day, right? Now I have to close that unit off, and now I lose money. Why would I want to do that? I don't. Therefore, I set my pricing strategies with my minimum day requirements. It goes hand in hand on PriceLabs. And so, for example, if the holiday, and let's just make it in simple terms. Let's just talk about New Year's Day. I don't want people checking out on New Year's Day. I don't want people coming in on New Year's Day. None of that stuff. I don't want my cleaners working on New Year's Day. It does happen sometimes. I just make sure that my cleaners are cool with it, and then I schedule them if it does happen. But let's say New Year's Day falls on Thursday, which is the 4th day of the week, right? Well, I don't want people coming and partying Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, checking out on Thursday on the 4th day of the week, on the 1st of July. On the 1st of January. And so what I do is on Monday, I set a 5-night minimum, 1, 2, 3, 4. That way they can only check out on the 2nd, right? On Tuesday, I set up a 4-day minimum, 1, 2, 3, 4. On this day, I set a 2-night minimum. Whoops, I'm sorry, audio probably when I'm covering with my hand. 1, 2, 3, right? And then I go back as far as 7 days. So Saturday, the week before, if the first falls on Thursday, then I set Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and they can't leave Thursday. They can only leave till Friday. And on that entire week, because I want people to book that entire week out, I raise my prices. I actually don't lower my prices. I raise my prices because for the holidays in my specific market, and this is something you guys should all be aware about, is your market. You're going to know how your market does on the holidays. I want to be the last person booked because I want people traveling and go, oh my God, we decided to do a last minute trip and we have nowhere to stay. Well, I want to make a premium because I'm offering you my place last minute. Therefore, I price up my rates and I require minimum days, right? So if somebody ahead of time decides to book those 7 days, I'm already making good money because it's 7 days at a very good rate. But if they decide not to and 7 days come in, then that 7 day minimum falls off. And now I can rent out for 4 or 5 days, but now it's last minute, super expensive pricing because now you're paying a premium to be that person who got lucky, who got the place last minute, and it's still available. Does that make sense? Same thing with July and summer, the holidays. I'm sorry, the holidays, the summer months, those are hot for me. July's are always banging. I'm usually 100% occupied, and I raise my prices about 25%. And it's simple. All I do is I go into Price Labs and I just give it I started a 25% bump at the beginning of the month, and it starts dying as it gets to the end of the month. And I just overcharge so that when people want to come in and book my place on those days, even if they book 6 months ahead of time, I'm already making a premium. And people do book ahead of time because the summers is when people are planning their holidays. So hopefully that helps. That's about it. Let me see if I have anything else on my notes here. In the meantime, guys, drop your questions. I'm going to review them in just a minute. And we're going to go till we got about another 30 minutes left, and I'll answer questions if you have them. If not, we'll call it a year, and I'll see you guys next week. Let's see. Seasonal strategy. I went over that. What strategy determine property is going to be profitable? I already went over that. Days. And then how much is continuing to okay, we already went over that. So yeah, that was pretty much it. That's all I wanted to go over today. Now, I guess I'll leave you guys with one last tip here. My daily rate, before we go into questions, my daily rate does not include pet fees or extra guest fees. Okay, what does that mean? Every single unit that somebody books, if they book with 1 or 2 people, depending on the size of the location, they're going to pay that base rate. That's the average that I'm demanding, right? If you want to book my place for 2 people, that's how much it's going to cost. But let's say you bring 4 people. Now I add a fee for the 3rd and the 4th person. So therefore, my daily rate from 166, based on this example, is going to go up. Depending on some places I charge $15 per guest after the first 2. Some places I charge $20. Some places I charge $10. So it depends. Let's just say for this example, we're going to do $20. Now, if you book my place at 167, but you're bringing 4 people total, now you're going to pay an extra $40. So now you're booking it for $207, right? Why do I do that? Because the more people that come, the more people use your place, the more things get consumed, the dirtier it gets. The more your cost of resupply goes up, the more your cost of rehab, right? Let's say 4 people, they start scuffing my walls. I got to get it painted. That's cost, right? Plus, I'm in the business to kind of make a little bit of money also. Therefore, I charge for that fee. Now, I also keep that in mind. If the market doesn't demand $205 a night for 4 people, then guys, let's be smart, right? Drop it to maybe 15. Try it then. Drop it to 10. Okay, actually, last thing I forgot, we're supposed to go into the cleaning fees before I let you guys go here. The cleaning fee, that's the last thing. So talking about the daily rate, this is only so that people book your place. On top of people booking your place, people have to book and they have to pay a cleaning fee when they book. Okay, people have to pay a cleaning fee when they book. That cleaning fee is what's called a pass-through expense. That means that the guest that booked your place is going to pay the cleaning fee to stay there. Whatever you charge, doesn't matter if you're charging $30 or if you're charging $150, it needs to be able to cover the cost that you're paying to get the place cleaned. I hope you guys aren't the ones cleaning it. I hope you have somebody who's actually cleaning it professionally. Otherwise, you're not operating correctly and you're wasting time and you're losing money. So I charge about $110 on a 1-bedroom apartment. Now I pay my cleaners based on that money. I don't pay them the full $110. I negotiate with my cleaners. Hey, I'm going to give you constant work all month, which means instead of having 1 cleaning all month like you normally do if you're offering cleaning services, I'm going to give you 15 cleanings or whatever, right? 10 cleanings. So therefore, you're going to have more work. Let's negotiate a better rate. They say yes, awesome. Because the difference in cleaning, let's say I pay them $80, now I'm making a $30 spread. That doesn't mean I'm putting $30 in my pocket. I have a linen company. Now, my linen company washes all my towels, sheets, bed pillows, whatever, throw blankets, everything. They wash it all. There's a cost for that, right? That doesn't come out of that's not part of my operational expenses. That's why I didn't add it to that break-even number that I talked about in the beginning. That comes out of that $30 spread. I want to make sure that my linen cost for every single turn stays under that percentage. So both my cleaning cost plus my linen fee are under $110 that I charge to the guest. Therefore, that gets paid through. It's a pass-through expense. It's not part of operating expenses. And if I make a couple bucks on top of it, awesome. If I don't, no hard feelings. At least I didn't have to pay out of pocket for my cleaners. My cleaners now have a job. They're making money. My linen company is providing fresh sheets. I don't have to worry about washing linens all the time. No harm, no foul. Everybody moves on. Everybody's happy. And I'm still charging my regular daily rate. Make sense? Cool. Hopefully that helped. All right, let's go into the comments, guys. Excuse me again if my voice sounds muffled. I'm getting over this cold. It's been kind of a pain. Let me pull up the comments here. If you have questions, now's the time, guys, because I'm getting off if we answer them all. Let's see. Subscribe. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Anthony, Anton, you guys are awesome. Appreciate it. Thank you. Subscribed. Fergo, thanks, man. Appreciate it. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the content. I'm trying to give you guys as much value as possible, right? I'm hoping that YouTube takes off, and rather than me doing some kind of like boring thing, I can come here and just talk to you guys and make some money off of it and help you guys get started. Why the hell not? Let's see. How to read the PL colored percentages. I'm not sure what that means. Anton, can you be a little bit more specific, please? So only one question, guys? Really? Okay. Anthony, what if the guests... Oh, I can put it up now. There you go. What if the guests say they have 2 people on Airbnb and show up with 4? Are you regulating that after they check in? Yeah, absolutely. So on my house rules, I tell them. So for example, if my 1-bedroom apartment sleeps 6, and after 2 people, I'm charging $15, so to speak. I actually charge a premium if they show up unannounced. So I charge them 20. So on my house, I put it on my house rules. Number 1, Anthony, put it on your house rules. That says any unauthorized guests that show up is going to be a $20 per night fee per guest, right? Whether they show up with 5, 6, or 7, it doesn't matter. Now, the moment they show up, when they're walking through the door, this is why it's important to have our security procedures. When they walk through the door and you see extra guests, then you're going to tell them. You just send them a simple message. Hey, we were informed by our surveillance team that you brought extra guests. Number 1, for insurance reasons, we need to know the number of guests that are there. Number 2, please know that we do have a fee for extra guests. Can you let me know who's staying, who's going? Anybody who's in the apartment after 10 p.m., we will charge a $20 per night per extra guest fee. And then I send it through the resolution center, wherever you're booking, wherever they're booking, I'm sorry. So I just send a money request instead of changing the reservation. That's about it. Cool. All right. So I guess nobody has questions today. Juan, I see that. Base 3, all expenses plus profit, 27. Yep. Base rate. Yep. Yeah, cool, guys. Okay. So I guess since nobody has questions today, we'll end it there. I'll announce next week's sooner so that more people are aware of it and they can jump on. And we'll keep it short today. Thank you all for being here. I do have to ask, if you're on YouTube and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Hit the like button. Again, just tap it softly, or dislike the video. No harm, no hard feelings. We do this just to do it. So, oh wait, I see some more questions. Cool. Super appreciative for the content, Rafa. I just found my LLC in my apartment complex. There's corporate leases, but they need a W-9 and credit, which I don't have. Any advice there? Yeah, man. So, Ben, congrats first of all on putting action and getting started. So they need a W-9 and credit. So I don't know about a W-9. What do you mean? Like they're asking like you W-9 or your business W-9? I've never heard of that before. I know that places require business credit and they require business history and they require income. And it's simple. By providing bank statements, you can pass that. You can, if your business is brand new and they don't allow it and they require 2 years, then try to be the personal guarantor. And then you can provide that. Yeah. Okay. So basically they want business history. Ben, you said business W-9. They basically want business history. If you're brand new, and they don't allow it, it might not be the right building. Go on to the next one. When I first started, I got turned down by a ton just because of that. And then once I hit the 2-year mark on my business, I started going back to a lot of them and saying, hey, I have 2 years now. I'm back. Can I get a couple units? And some places said yes. But here's the thing. don't get hung up on one building if they have a ton of requirements for you. If they require 2 years history, if they require 2 years credit, if they require amazing business credit, if they require 20 times the rate just because it's a business, go on to the next building. No big deal. But if they require something like, if you can work around it, just ask them, why do you guys require that? Can I be the personal guarantor? And they say, well, we might be able to work that. Just make sure that the lease is on the LLC and that you're the person guaranteeing the rent gets paid every month. So if the company falls, you still have to be liable for it, right? Most places will be cool with that. That's about it. Let's see. When are slow seasons? I haven't started yet, but I'm waiting for the right time. So Anthony, really good question, man. But I can't answer that. It's very market specific. In my market here in Southern California, slow seasons are January, February, and usually the first 2 weeks after any holiday. But there's ways around it, right? I mean, I know how to break even and make money and not lose money anyway. So, and this is when I talk about the $1,500 profit each month. I don't mean that every single month. Some months I make $4,000 or $5,000 a month in profit. Some months I make $200 a month in profit, but average over the 12-month period, I'm doing $1,500 minimum each month, which means if in July I make a $7,000 profit, I'm not mad that in January I didn't make anything because that money evens out, right? Obviously, we want to make as much possible, but it happens. So hopefully that answers that. Where are we here? Cool. All right, you guys are dropping questions. All right, let's see. Price lapse percentage they have for 7 days, 30 days, 60-day columns, and they change in colors. Got it. Yeah, so that's basically, what was your question about that earlier? Let me check. How to read. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, great question, man. So that's actually your occupancy rate. Your occupancy rate or vacancy rate. Crap, I don't remember. Don't quote me, but it's one or the other. But it's basically, I'm pretty sure it's your occupancy rate on what you're occupied. So the first 7 days, if it's like at 50%, that means you're 50% occupied for those 7 days. And you know what? I'm going to pull it up. I wonder if I can share my screen with you guys for this thing. I'm new to StreamYard, but I think I can, so bear with me, guys. Let's see, Price Labs. Actually, no, I can't share my screen with you guys. I have a lot of information in there, but let's check. Let's see if it's occupancy or vacant. Occupancy. So, for example, the first 7 days on one of my units, I'm at 86% occupied. That's good because it tells you. So, for example, man, I wish I could share this with you. You know what? Hold on. Okay, I'll share it. Let me see if I can. Since you guys are sticking around and asking questions, let's see. Hold on a second. Share. Slides, video, share screen. Ooh, we can do it. All right. This is going to be brief. Screen sharing. Screen sharing works on the computer. There we go. Awesome. All right, really quick. Tell me if you guys can see. Whoa. Tell me if you guys can see that. Yeah? Okay, hopefully you can. But you see right here? So these are my units, guys. This is where I price, okay? You guys are getting an inside look at where I price units specifically. But, okay, first of all, I guess this isn't advice for, like, monetary, legal, none of that stuff. So please keep that in mind, guys. I don't want you guys coming back and saying, Rolfo said that I can make this much money on this unit. No, I'm not telling you that. This is what I price, right? You see, remember I talked about the holiday pricing strategy? Look, right here, 7 days, 86% occupancy rate. Now, it tells you right here, my listing's at 86% occupied, but the market's 58%, which means I'm already above the market, which is awesome. I'm killing it. Good for me, right? This one right here, off of 30 days, I'm 57% occupied. The market says 49. I'm killing it. Good for me. 60 days, the listing's at 29. The market's 36. So I'm actually below. So I got to figure out why. I know why, because I overprice anything after 45 days out, right? I overprice anything after 45 days out. For example, this one's 100% occupied for the next 7 days. Cool. Let's go to a low one. The red is really bad. So 29% on this listing, right? That's okay. I know that this listing does a lot of last minute bookings. All right, let me turn this screen sharing off. Did that answer that? Hopefully you guys were able to see that. Hopefully I didn't do it wrong, but yeah, good question, man. All right, let's see. Moving on. Ben, listen, man, I'm happy to help. Seriously, don't feel bad. That's why I do this. You're taking advantage of coming and asking questions. All right, does every apartment complex credit check before you sign a lease? As far as I can tell, yes. I've never ran across an apartment complex that does not do a credit check, whether it's a business credit check or a or a regular credit check. Yes, they all do it. If you find one that doesn't, let me know. That'd be cool to know about. Can I talk a little bit about my cleaning process? I certainly can, but I don't know what specifically when we talk about. This is an entire other hour topic on its own, which I'm glad actually, Virgo, that you brought up because I needed something for next week, and I guess we'll talk about cleaning processes next week. We can see it. Awesome. Okay, so you guys did see that. In regards to cleaners, how do you keep them up to date with your calendar? The short answer, Marissa, is that I use Turnover B&B. They have their cleaning side calendar. I have my host side calendar. And then on Hospitable, I send them a text message on the morning of for that specific listing, letting them know that a cleaning has to be done, not to forget about it. Guys, actually, you know what? I'm glad you guys are asking these cleaning questions because next week I'll talk about that. This is how the pricing one came about this week. So, is it hurting your credit score? I don't know, man. I don't know if it hurts your credit score. I'm pretty sure it's an inquiry, right? Business credit score obviously doesn't hurt you because it's based on the business. It's a Dun & Bradstreet number, which you guys should get anyway. I've never needed it. I've actually had every single unit through my business without them hitting my actual credit score. I've been lucky and I've kind of been able to finesse my way into a lot of buildings that way. But I'm pretty sure it hurts you if you do an inquiry. I don't know. How do you know how much money to start up with when opening your first unit? All right, Anthony. So great question, man. This is a really good one. Okay. How do you know how much money to start up? Jeez, I just lost your question. Okay, here we go. How do you know how much money to start up with when opening your first unit? Okay, it's going to depend on the customer that you want to attract to your listing. Okay, what do I mean by that? If you're only going to spend $3,000 to furnish a 800 square foot one bedroom apartment, it's going to be very bland. You're not going to have anything inside. You're probably going to have enough for the couch, the bed, a frame on the wall, maybe if you're lucky, wrong side, a little plant, right? And so therefore, that's the customer. So therefore, because you spent so little, your rate for that unit is going to be lower, right? And so based on the rate that you charge is going to attract the type of customer you want. Does that make sense? It all ties in hand. The design ties with the daily rate with the customer you want to attract. All three of them go hand in hand together. Now, to give you a different perspective of it, how much do you want to make per night is going to determine how much you spend for your first unit. Have a budget. Say, hey, I want to spend $7,000 for this one bedroom apartment. That's cool. You can do so. You're going to spend $7,000 on furnishing on a 400 square foot apartment. You're going to probably make it look pretty nice. You're going to have a nice bed, a comfortable bed. You're going to have a king bed. You're going to provide a nice, comfortable sleeper sofa. You're going to have some beautiful decor, right? Get some decor so it looks cool. It's appealing. It attracts the eye. People want to stay there. People want to come look at it, right? Imagine my wall was blank back here. Would you guys be bored staring at me just with nothing in the back? Maybe. I don't know. But that decor and the way that unit is furnished is going to demand and going to tell you what you're going to rent that place out per night. For example, someone who's willing to pay you $250 per night is not going to pay you $250 per night if all you have is a tiny little frame on the corner, big empty wall, a mattress on top of one of those metal frames, and that's it. Nothing else. There's no color. There's no paint. There's no decor. There's no plants. There's no green. They're not going to pay you that. But somebody willing to spend $80, $90 will. And if that's your target customer, cool. By all means. That will tell you how much you will want to spend. On average, though, to give you guys a short answer, on a one bedroom, I spend anywhere from, I've done it as little as $3,000, but I had to put money into it as the unit started operating, right? Here's one thing I want you guys to know really quick. You don't have to start with everything up front. Like, you don't have to have everything in hand up front. You can start with a blank apartment. And as you start generating revenue, take some and buy a plant here. Take some and buy a frame here. Take some and put colored curtains here. Take some and buy paint and paint the wall. Little by little, you start updating the apartment and you start raising your prices, right? And that could work. I've done it. It's been great, right? But you don't need to start with, oh man, I need 10 grand to get started. Nah, listen, what you need to do is get started. Go out and get a lease. Go out and find a place and just get started, right? Now, if you're making $70, odds are, and here's something I want to make very clear. If you're charging something like $70, $80, $90 a night on a market that is average 150, 160, you're probably going to attract a bad customer. Okay, customers that don't care about your place, they're going to come in and they're going to trash it. They're going to be disrespectful. They're going to leave trash everywhere. That's why I invest a decent amount of money to make the place look a very specific type of way to attract a very type of customer. If I go vacant, I'm okay with it because I'm already charging what I want to charge anyway. So if I go vacant on a couple days, no harm, no foul, no hard feelings. I don't care. I'm still doing what I want to do. Does that make sense? Long-winded answer, but hopefully it helps. Let's see. Whew, let me get some water, guys. This is my voice again. Junior said, have you ever hired an interior designer or just from your own ideas? So, have I ever hired an interior designer? Absolutely, man. I've never designed a unit myself. Actually, I lied. I have designed a couple myself. But every single unit that I do is done by an interior designer. Whether it's a very good professional one or one that's starting off, I give everybody a chance. I've done it all. I will work with any interior designer as long as they can prove and show to me that they're good. They know what they're doing. Usually I do require for them to show me some kind of prior work to see what they've done if I'm going to pay them a good amount of money. But if they're new, then I pay them less, and I'm willing to give them a shot, and they mess up, I know that I did it willingly. But yes, every single one of my units has been done with an interior designer. I recommend everybody gets an interior designer because I don't know if it's just me, but not all guys know how to interior design very well. I know some guys that know how to interior design very well. Actually, Jesse, my co-host for the podcast, he's a great interior designer. And he likes doing it, and he knows how to do it, and he's very good at it. But he still hires an interior designer for some of his projects. Actually, he hires them for most of his projects, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, every single unit I've hired interior designer, and some are very expensive, man. Some are very, very cost minimal. Some can just guide you in the right direction. You can hire one just to guide you on what to buy for that place. Hey, this place is going to look good with this style of design. Hey, this place is going to look good with this kind of paint or this kind of decor. And then some are going to go, hey, we're going to charge you top dollar, but they're just going to hand you the keys of the place fully furnished, 100% ready to go live, right? They're the ones that are a little bit more expensive. They're the ones that are going to cost you a little bit more money. But it depends on where you're at in life, right? If you don't care about doing the work yourself and you want to pay less and you just need guidance, go with someone who's going to guide you. But if you're the type of person who can't, let's say you're 8,000 miles away from your property. Actually, there's a gentleman right now who asked me the same question. He's 8,000 feet. He's 8,000 miles away from his property, and he's not going to drive out there to furnish the place and do it himself. So he needs to hire an interior designer. Well, he's going to hire one that's going to be a turnkey interior designer. Basically, they're going to do everything, and they're going to hand him the keys and go, here you go. You're ready to go live. Take the photos, post it up on the website, and that's it. But he's going to pay top dollar for it, right? So it depends on what you want to do there. Let's see. Next question. All right. I love how you guys come up with these questions at the end. When do you expect to make a return on furnishing the apartments? Awesome question, Anthony. Any single unit that and it's not just furnishing, guys. Okay, here, let's talk about the main cost of this really quick before we go into this, Anthony. When you start an apartment, you're looking at three major costs. You're looking at rent, deposit, furnishing. Okay, three. Now, those are for an arbitrage unit. Obviously, if you're purchasing, you're looking at much larger. You're looking at down payment on a house, furnishing cost, your first month's rent first month's mortgage, and then whatever your insurance costs plus your taxes for the property, right? You're obviously looking at more money for that. But on an arbitrage deal, those three are the major ones. And those three major costs, whatever they add up to, you should be able to have them back in 8 to 9 months or less. If done correctly, if priced accordingly, if you do the pricing strategy and you do everything right. I aim for no more than 8 to 9 months on anything that I do on a short-term rental. Have I gone longer? For sure. Have I gone faster? For sure. But it doesn't matter. I aim for 8 to 9 months. Okay. So many good answers. Thanks for the knowledge. I'll see you next week. Yeah, man, for sure. Guys, if that's all you guys got for me today, then let me show off my cool shirt and we'll move on with life. Thanks for being here. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be here. And, hey, shout out to the podcast. It comes out tonight. It's going to be a very good one. We're talking about goal setting. Everything that I do every year to prepare for the following year, my 5-year plan, my goals, using SMART goals, everything drops tonight at midnight. Well, actually, no, not tonight. It's today, Tuesday. Oh, yeah, no, it drops tonight at midnight. And hopefully you guys enjoy it, Subscribe, shoot the likes, share it with somebody that you guys think might like it. Share it with your significant other. Get like-minded people around you, because the more people you have supporting you, the more you're going to succeed in life, right? See you next week. Love you guys.